Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Welcome. Happy Friday to everybody. It wouldn't be Friday without my next guest. I got a great guest coming up here on this beautiful Friday. The heat seems to have gone away a little bit, but you guys know I love when Belkis Clarke Mitcham comes on. She is down there in Texas. She is the CEO and the owner of Belkis Clarke LLC, and she's helped us out so many different times, so many different topics. She does one-on-one coaching, and her website is belkisclarke.com. Also, if you guys want to call in, you can at I'm in a different studio because we're doing Zoom for people who are listening, just listening on the radio part. So it's a different call-in number at 631-687-5800. But always you can get me at KC Instant Feedback, and then my producer will read your question, and Miss Belkis Clarke Mitcham will answer it right here live on the air. So guys, with no further ado, it is my honor and privilege to bring to the program, finally get to meet one of my favorite guests, Miss Belkis Clarke Mitcham. Belkis, so nice to see you.
Casey, it is just awesome. I'm just so stoked to actually now look at your face and talk to you and have that rapport. I'm really excited.
Me too. You've given us such great angles on things, especially in the relationship department. In your practice, a lot of clients. Do you deal with a lot of relationship type stuff?
Oh, definitely. Relationships, connections are one of the things that always drives us. You don't find many people saying, oh, they may say, oh, I don't want any more relationship, but secretly, they're still looking for that perfect one.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, we are all about connection, and everybody's looking for that sincere and genuine connection. People don't want to be alone. Or people been hurt in relationships. People, and they bounce back. Some not so well, some do, and then they carry a whole lot of baggage. They put up walls, and so yes, relationship is usually a big when individuals come. Sometimes it's not just even intimate relationships. It could be sibling relationships, parental relationships, relationships that went wrong. With myself, I was abused by a stepfather. That is relationship disaster right there. As a result, as I went through my life, I always felt like people would only need me, men would only want me for their own sexual pleasure, because somehow in that whole cycle, that's what was cemented as a kid. And the decisions and the choices I end up making a lot of the time reflected that lack of sense of self, that low self-esteem, and that thinking I wasn't worth much. And I find a lot of people come in maybe not with the same experience, but with a lot of the same results out of broken relationship. It hits your sense of self, it hits your self-esteem, and it really causes a lot of pain and uncertainty. So yeah, you find that relationship is definitely a big part of it. When no matter if it's choices people are struggling with, there's usually some relationship issues somewhere along the line, on the line. If it is self-esteem, self-confidence, there is some relationship impact that would have resulted in it. So yeah, it definitely is a big part of what I do.
Yeah, Belkis, you, as you just referred to, I mean, that's a small drop in the bucket compared to what you had to go through. I mean, you I mean, everything they threw at you, anything could be thrown at you, you went through, I mean, if in case the audience hasn't ever heard your show before, I mean, you have been through anything that, yeah, you've been through the horrible. You've been through some horrible things, and I love that you turned it around somehow, and you were valedictorian. You have this successful business now, and now you're helping other people. It's pretty amazing. I mean, what made you be able to pivot and say all these crappy things happened to me, but yet I'm gonna be different. I'm going to turn it around, and I'm gonna help people on top of that.
The thing is, Casey, the truth is I got tired of being hurt. I got tired of the negativity. I got tired of feeling less than. I knew what the dark side was like, the dark feelings, the dark places, the depression. I knew what the struggle was like. But there really was a yearning inside of me that what could there be something more to Belkis? And the truth is, I had a mom who kept pointing out to me, you can do anything, and my grandmother as well. So even though they themselves had not achieved much of what they wanted in their lives, even though they had their own experiences that they contended with and that they'd been through, they had hopes for me. And so somewhere along the line, I was just tired. I was tired of the broken relationships, the bad choices in relationships. I was tired of feeling that this thing that happened to me so long ago was still impacting my life. I grew tired and I did not want them to win. For everyone that had hurt me, I felt as if every time I stayed in the hurt, they were winning. But I really didn't know how to break the cycle. Honestly, I didn't. There were days I didn't want to get out of bed. I I didn't want to go to work. I was in tears sometimes at the drop of a hat, and that went on for years. I was suicidal at a certain point.
Oh, who could blame you,
But
Belkis? Who could blame you for feeling that way?
there had to be more to life. And my mom gave me a book called The Purpose Driven Life. And that kind of started a process for me. I mean, I am an avid reader. And I have read combined in the last however many years it's been. I have read, and this is no exaggeration, more than 500 books when it comes to overcoming trauma, neurolinguistic programming, mindset, self confidence. When you're talking personal development, I went hard at it. I wanted to know what was out there. And I took myself to counseling, I had coaching as well. I did the work
Mhm.
because I wanted to know, okay, I've lived the horror. What if, what if, that is like pivotal. What if there wasn't the horror anymore? Who could I be? And so I went on a journey to find out.
And this is what we got, and I'm glad it all kind of worked out. It's, I've learned this thing in lately in my old age here. Something that you said on one of our shows. It's that these things will pass. These
Mhm,
the bad times, they will pass. It might suck going through them, but it will pass
mhm.
if you wanted to.
That's right.
Like what you were just talking about. I mean, the worst, what breaks my heart is the worst thing is you actually at one point you went to the headmaster or the principal or somebody in the school and you told them
Yes.
what was happening to you, and that I'm not going to say did the same exact thing that your stepfather.
Yes.
I mean, how is a kid supposed to trust anybody after that? Crazy.
I'm telling you, it wasn't easy. It trust. I can tell you sometimes still the issues try to still raise their head because they seem to be lifelong. But I've learned a lot of skills to recognize triggers, to recognize what to do and what I need to cope and what I need to remind myself of. So what I do is I get preemptive about it. I'm not waiting for something to be triggered. I'm not waiting for something to arise. I set in place what has worked for me, and that's why I love to work with clients and I get real. I don't have I have a structure, but I make it fluid based on the individual because we are not little robots and machines that
It's not
we could
cookie
just
cutter. Everybody's different, right?
no multi yeah we could just but trust was hard with my husband. I kept waiting for the other shoe to drop with him. I kept
No.
saying, you're not that nice. Nobody, what do you want? I was surprised he was still around.
Hey, Belkis, my producer's got a instant feedback, I believe, right?
Yes. I have a comment and a question. So, Tammy from Pennsylvania, I believe she asked, Belkis, you are more beautiful than I imagined.
Yeah, that she is. She is. She's inside and out. That's yes. I'm a
This
huge
is
fan.
good.
You could
Thank
tell.
you. I will take that eco boost.
And, and then we have Ian from Alabama. He asked, I know love is subjective, but what do you feel like love should look like in a relationship And now I'm not sure if he means platonically or actual like marriage or so. I guess could you answer both? You know, what does it look like in a
Well,
friendship and in a relationship?
well, Ian, it is right. I am going to answer in a way that will address any type of relationship because the truth is that no matter the type of relationship, love shows up pretty much consistently in certain ways. I mean, if you have an intimate relationship, there are other things you explore that you would not explore with a parental or sibling relationship. But love, those are expressions of love, but the essence of love, what it is made up of, shows up the same way consistently. It is a space when you love and are being loved in an honest way, in the way that is true to who you are, because we all are different and we all have different emotional needs. But when it shows up, you don't have to pretend. You could be your best, your worst, and everything in between. And that individual will pull you up when you need to be pulled up and do it lovingly, not in hatred, not in anger, and not building a case against you. And you are able to feel free to speak. You're not ashamed to want or to express yourself. You don't feel guilty about, oh, maybe I'm taking too much, because you're giving just as much. When two individuals get together in a space of respect and a space of I want to understand you. I want to know you. So when your interest is each other, what you have is an opening up of vulnerabilities. And that you are then able, the fear starts to diminish, because a lot of the time what causes issues in relationship is fear.
Hmm.
It is fear masked as a whole lot of other things. It comes out as anger, it comes out as insecurity.
Jealousy.
So jealousy, it comes out as well. You're right, Casey. So when you are able to be, when you feel as if you could, it's like when you get home and you take your shoes off, or when you immerse yourself in a good shower and you don't have to pretend, where it's just like standing naked in front of a mirror and being okay and loving what you see. When you get to be that with another individual, be it mother, father, brother, sister, whomever, you know that you are being loved. It's that acceptance. It's a deep, meaningful acceptance that allows you to grow as a person, knowing that you are safe, understood, and accepted. That's
Oh,
love.
great, a great answer. Thank you for that, Belkis. And just on top of that, I wanted to ask you, like, can friendships like that, that love that you were talking about, can you have that in a friendship without being with
Ooh,
somebody?
of course you can. I have a friend of mine that has been with me from teenage years, and I'm talking opposite gender. I mean, we got same sex, we got, people are attracted to whomever.
Yeah, yeah.
Opposite gender, because that's the environment I grew up in, and we have been close. When I tell you, knows my ups, my downs, my worst, my cries, my suicidal attempts, everything. Been there, lock, stock, and barrel. Can talk about anything.
Okay.
Yes, it is possible. It's always about knowing who you are, knowing the other person, and our boundaries that we have set, and existing in that. A lot of the times we think that when we've got a connection to someone, that it's therefore has to translate into sexual intimacy or into something else. That's not the truth.
Right.
Some folks operate in your life. It's like if you got a machine, each part has its function. And if you try to take one part and put it somewhere else, the machine does not work as well. So
Okay.
you got to evaluate if your relationship is just supposed to be friendship and enjoy the living daylight out of it, or
Mhm.
if it is something else, and it must be mutually expressed and understood between both parties. But yes, Casey, it is very, very possible. I can tell you, and it's really rewarding as well.
So you're under the belief, you think that you should be friends first before anything happens, or do you think that you can go right with the intention of, maybe this is someone that I want to be with, or what's your feeling on that? I mean, is there feeling out,
I
or
went both. I did both ways. First, the one where you weren't really friends first turned out to be a bit of disaster, though it doesn't always. Some people hit it off right? And they skip the stages and it works out.
Yeah.
But the truth is, I believe that it gives you the opportunity. You will never really know everything about a person, but go with my present relationship, I went through those stages of acquaintanceship, of friendship, of then you're going to dating and courtship. I went through the stages and it did me well as an individual because it really helped me to know who I am in the relationship. It helped both of us to develop our voice and our place of respect for each other, to know what our boundaries are, to discuss things, immensely, and to just, as friends, you relaxed a lot with each other and you just learn to let your hair down before you were able to then take it to another level. So the thing is, Casey, sometimes, and this is the truth, you don't get up every day and feel all giddy in love. But there is nothing like knowing that this person is my friend. That just keeps so that when I don't feel giddy in love, but I still won't be with my friend,
Yeah.
and I have that kind of love for my friend.
Gotcha.
So definitely, it for me, going through the stages, taking some time really helps because when people clash, when you get a little bit past the giddy stage, when you're just chilling, there's
Yeah.
a whole different aspect of you that shows up.
Mhm.
Masks slip if you're putting on mask, and you
Yeah.
get to determine, can I live with this, or this challenges my values too much, so I can't. You get to make a decision before you jump all in.
Gotcha.
And
Yeah.
that, because even if it's a bad relationship, breakups are hard
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Totally.
discarding. They can
As
discard.
and a lot of people fear that they will get in the friend zone, and they'll stay there. I don't know. Uh, the- a lot of people
But
fear that.
what's wrong with the friend zone?
But yeah, I
Big,
don't think what you said before is very true. I mean, there's nothing like having a great friend. But what if one person wants to take it to the next level? Can you be labeled as just do compartmentalize? Do women do that a lot?
well, we should, I think,
Yeah. Yeah.
because it becomes problematic.
Yeah.
The problem is when people are getting mixed signals, and that's where sometimes, whether men or women, we really need to be careful. If you know that, that's why I talk about being free to speak.
Communication, right?
Yeah,
You
being
always
free
talk
to,
about that. Yeah.
you're not fearful, so that upfront, I don't want to lead you on, and I don't want to give you the impression that it's more. And sometimes people do not give an impression, but the other person just love everything about them,
Hmm.
and we need to step back and assess what the love really is, because the truth is, our love isn't romantic love, but our brokenness sometimes makes us think that once someone is nice to me and awesome to me, it has to lead to romantic love. Mm-mm. No, your cogs and how they fit in your
Yeah.
wheels, know which one goes where. You got your whole machine of who you are. Understand that there's a reason this person is probably just feeling friendship, and it is okay to accept it because your romantic love is there for you. But it's like, if you're gonna use that relationship to hang on to and insist in changing it when it most likely won't work because you're both not on the same
The
level,
parts again.
then the person who's there for you, where you could have this really awesome dynamic romantic relationship, all of a sudden they would pass you by. It's like a parking space. If you go to the parking lot and you're looking for your space and there's a car there, don't you keep driving? So
Yeah.
if this person don't want to be with you, enjoy the friendship, enjoy the goodness that you feel, enjoy the wholeness of it, but keep your romantic parking lot space open because your partner is driving around looking for you.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I think Mr. Producer has instant feedback, but I think what you were saying is like not to base your happiness on someone else because that's a
No.
recipe for disaster, right?
Yes, and you can love, if this person, if you're not getting back the type of love, the type of attention, what you need from this individual, they're not the only individual. We got 7 billion people on the earth. Oh, wow. Talk about choice.
Belkis, guys, I'm speaking with the great Belkis Clarke Mitcham. I want everyone to go over to Belkis Clarke, that's Clark with an E.com. You do one-on-ones. You
Yes, I
get
do.
you get a free consultation type thing to see if you're
Yes,
good
there's a
mit.
free, yeah, because you got to make sure that we're congruent,
Yeah, that
you
you.
know, before,
Mhm.
yeah,
All right,
before
so
we,
Mr. Producer has a question for you from the
okay.
instant feedback.
All right. We're kind of running out of time, so I think these are going to be the last questions that we have.
It always
But
goes so fast with her.
it really does. But Hillary from South Carolina, she goes, Belkis, it's been some time since you were here last. We've missed you. And I
Oh,
agree.
That's
I
pretty cool.
have missed, I have missed them as well, honestly. I kind of went like, something's not right in my Friday.
Yeah, it gave me Friday without folks. Come on.
And then we also have Theodore from Iowa. He has a question. He I believe he goes, my ex has lost all contact with me. But the thing is, she wronged me. She was disrespecting me and she was seeing other people behind my back. Why did she lose contact with me and not me losing contact with her?
Hmm.
Oh, you're feeling a little bit of the sense of power loss, but I would say pull out the bubbly and toast yourself because you just, I mean, I don't mean to be mean, but when we should not ever want to accept what is less than we deserve. We need to always get get and set the standards for what we believe we are worth. So when someone keeps trotting because or treading because they were bringing what we needed in our space, that value, and was just sucking us like energy vampires and emotional vultures,
Vampire. Yeah.
you need to say thank you to whomever you thank because it's a good thing. So I would say celebrate. Now you're feeling a bit troubled by it because when we feel like we are right, we want to stay in a space of control and the power seat because one, this is no offense, but we all have an ego and it kind of soothes our ego. It satisfies our ego that you wrong me and then I get to make the decision about how I distanced myself from you. So it seemed as if she took our control. She took your control away from you in the relationship because she went outside of the bounds of the relationship and she disrespected the integrity of your space. So you
Hmm.
feel disrespected and you feel as if you have no control there. And then now you don't even get to be the one to decide how to distance yourself. How dare she take all the control away from you?
That's
But
yeah.
it's okay. Let
Yeah,
it go.
that's
Let
a
it happen.
let it, yeah. Who is that? What's his name?
Oh, Theodore.
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 Theodore. Hey, good luck to you, man. Thanks for writing in. I'm sorry you're going through that.
Yeah.
Mr. Producer, I have to wrap. Okay. Guys, um, my great guest, Belkis Clarke Mitcham, one of my, you see why I'm such a fan of hers, every angle right there. I want you guys to go to Belkis Clarke, BelkisClarke at, can I give out the email?
Yes.
That's at gmail.com or go to belkisclarke.com. Belkis, I always love having you on, and I want to give you the
Always a
last
pleasure.
word here. So, as my grandmother used to say, Belkis, you have the floor.
I just want to say to everyone that's listening, no matter where you've been, no matter what you've been through, no matter the labels that anyone have placed upon you, they are not the sum total of how valuable you are. There is an innate value that no one can touch. Experiences try to blanket it, tries to numb it down, but you've got to go and uncover. You've got that power to uncover, to throw off the labels, to throw off what everybody has said, to throw off the impact of your experiences and fuel that. Use your pain for your purpose. You can do that. And if you're ever looking for help, just jump on over to my page. Right there's a contact me form. I'd be more than willing to hold your hand through the tough, the ups, the downs, the tough and not so tough, so that you stand in your place of power because you deserve an opportunity to not just know who you are, but to live it fully and be happy in the life you have.
Wow, she's awesome. Belkis Clarke Mitcham, everybody. So nice to have you. Thank you so much. And I can't wait to talk to you again. Guys, we'll be
Definitely.
right back. Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, I mean, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.